showing 9 o'clock. Are we ready to tackle this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Rock and roll.
Right. All right, well, good morning, everyone. This meeting is called to order. Susanna, there you are. Has anybody signed up for public comment?
Good morning, Chair Daniel. No one has signed up for public comment today.
All right, thank you so much. Ms. Miller.
Good morning, sir.
Well, good morning. How are you today?
I'm doing very well.
Well, good. We've got an exciting docket ahead of us, huh?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, we'll pick that up with agenda item 3, but we have no cases to reconsider under agenda item 3. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. That is correct.
All right, let's move to tax liability cases under agenda item 4. And I think we have one tax case on docket 47.
Yes, sir. It's case number TD-20-077-0620. Commissioner Demerson,
I agree with staff recommendation.
Commissioner Alvarez,
I disagree with staff's recommendation. The entity that sold the location and the franchisor have the same management and the same individual sign for both entities. Therefore, this case differs from the recent court case where the franchisor was a third party unconnected to the entity that sold the business and the entity that purchased the business. As such, our prior decision in this case was correct, and there should be a transfer of compensation experience.
and
Agree
Mr.
with
Chairman.
staff recommendation.
Yes, sir.
Short form dissent.
Yes, sir. That is the last case on this agenda item.
All right, on agenda item 5, we have no fair housing cases.
That's correct. No cases.
Let's move to agenda item 6. We have one wage claim case pulled for additional discussion on docket 47.
Yes, sir. It's case number 19-059459-9. Commissioner Alvarez?
The decision should be modified. The claimant's appeal should be deemed timely because he timely mailed his original appeal, which was returned as an under deliverable, even though there was no error in the original mailing. The written agreement between the parties provided clear evidence that the correct employer has been named on the claim. With regard to the unpaid wages, the testimony from the claimant and former CEO established that the claimant began working on July 8, 2019 and worked through July 29, 2020, but was never paid. The claimant is owed $23,076.92 in unpaid regular wages. The agreement between the claimant and the employer regarding the signing bonus is in writing. The claimant was guaranteed a $100,000 signing bonus. The WCAT improperly concluded that the agreement required the claimant to remain employed for 30 days. There is no such requirement to receive the bonus in the written agreement. The only requirement was that the claimant start work. The agreement explicitly states that the bonus is guaranteed. The claimant is owed $100,000 in unpaid bonus. Modify the WCAT, deem the claimant's appeal timely, correct employer name, wages owed $123,076.92.
The AT decision is fully supportable. We agree that the claimant filed a timely appeal from the initial determination. On the merits of the wage claim, the evidence establishes that the claimant is entitled to 3 weeks of pay for the work he performed before he resigned. The amount of wages earned would be what the Labor Law Department and the AT determined are $23,076.93. Concerning the sign-on bonus, the AT's conclusion that the agreement contemplated that the claimant must be employed 30 days after the official starting date of the agreement is supportable. The claimant quit before the 30-day sign-on bonus payment date and is not entitled to that payment. Accordingly, we should affirm the AT decision. The claimant filed a timely appeal from the initial determination. It named the correct employer. The employer owes the claimant $23,076.93 in additional wages for the work he performed.
Affirm the WCAT, timely claimant appeal, correct employer was named, claimant is owed $23,076.93.
Commissioner Alvarez?
Yes, Ms. Miller, I will short form on the bonus issue.
Yes, sir. I have your short form on the bonus.
Thank you, ma'am.
That is the last pulled wage claim case for this docket. I did distribute the wage claim short form decision list a moment ago. Let me correct that. I'm sending it now.
move we accept staff recommendations on the remaining wage claim cases on docket 47.
I second the motion except for those cases in which I'm dissenting, as reflected on the wage claim short form dissent list for docket 47.
I concur with the chairman's motion, except for cases on which I'm dissenting, as reflected in the wage claim short form dissent list for docket 47.
The motion passes with the exceptions noted.
Thank you.
All right, let's move to agenda item 7, in consideration of unemployment insurance cases on docket 47. Please proceed when you're ready.
Case number 2499567, Commissioner Alvarez.
The AT decision in this case should be reversed. First of all, the claimant's appeal to the commission should be deemed timely because he tried to submit an appeal online and by fax, but was unable to do so because the commission's fax and online resources were unavailable. On the separation issue, the claimant should be held not disqualified. In appeal number 1893-CA-77 of the appeals policy and president manual, it was ruled that a manager of a store location who was fired for store shortages was qualified for benefits. The employer in this case did not show anything specific that the store manager did or did not do that led to the shortages. And mere inability to manage the store was not considered misconduct connected with the work. The claimant in this case was fired because his store failed safety inspections. However, he took all reasonable measures to instruct and counsel his subordinate employees on the proper safety rules and procedures. And he was not present in the store on the final incident when the subordinate employees arranged the stockroom in a manner that did not comply with safety rules. The employer has not demonstrated any action by the claimant that constituted misconduct connected with the work. Timely commission appeal, reverse the AT, no misconduct, chargeback.
I do not dispute that the claimant appeal should be deemed timely. As to the job separation, the AT decision should be affirmed. The claimant's assertion that he effectively trained and disciplined his subordinates on safety protocols is not persuasive, given that the claimant's multiple prior warnings for failed inspections. In addition, the claimant knew that he was ultimately responsible for passing safety inspections or risk termination. Consequently, the claimant mismanaged his position of employment, and we should deem the claimant's appeal timely and affirm the AT decision. Misconduct, no chargeback.
Deem the commission appeal timely, affirm the AT, misconduct, no chargeback.
Short form dissent.
Yes, sir.
Case number 2499692, Commissioner Demerson.
The AT decision should be modified. I do not dispute the good cause ruling. As to the job separation, the claimant, a manager, was discharged when the employer discovered a controlled substance in the claimant's hand at work, which was a violation of policy. The pill was not from the claimant's prescription. The claimant's testimony suggests that he had no control over the incident, since a coworker gave him the pill unprompted. However, this is not persuasive. The claimant provided inconsistent statements as to the final incident, as the employer provided consistent and detailed testimony that the claimant was attempting to hide the pill from the employer. Furthermore, the claimant gave no explanation as to how an employee could find it appropriate to give the claimant a controlled substance at work. Overall, the claimant's testimony denying any intentional wrongdoing is simply not persuasive. The weight of the evidence establishes that the claimant mismanaged his position of employment, and we should modify the AT decision. The claimant had good cause for his non-appearance, misconduct, no chargeback, sever adequate employer response.
The decision should be modified. Good cause for the claimant, no misconduct, chargeback, and void AR. The claimant established good cause for his non-appearance because he was in the hospital with a broken jaw at the time of the hearing. Regarding the job separation, the claimant presented unrebutted testimony that he did not ask the coworker to hand him a pill and was not expecting to be handed a pill. The claimant was in the process of throwing it away when he was questioned by the employer. Even though the employer witnessed the exchange, only the claimant was fired and not the coworker. Additionally, at the hearing, the claimant presented documentation that he had a prescription for the medication in question. Therefore, since the claimant did not ask for the pill, since the coworker was not disciplined, and since the claimant had a prescription for the pill, the employer has not shown misconduct. Modify the AT, good cause, no misconduct, chargeback, void adequate response.
Modify the AT, claim established good cause for AT1, no misconduct, chargeback, void adequate response.
Sure.
Commissioner Demerson, I have a short form dissent.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Case number 2557240, Commissioner Demerson.
The AT decision should be affirmed. The material facts are not in dispute. The parties agree that the claimant had reasonable assurance during the summer break. The dates of summer break have also been established. Whether the claimant could have worked as a substitute teacher over the summer has no bearings on the issue before us. As such, it is unnecessary to rehear this case. We should therefore affirm the AT decision. The claimant had reasonable assurance beginning May 31st, 2020, and leave in effect the closure date of August 15th, 2020.
The decision is not supportable. The testimony from the claimant's witness indicated that she worked summers for the employer, but was unable to do so this year due to COVID. The case should be reheard to get full testimony from both parties to determine whether the claimants typically work summers. Rehear.
Rehear.
We will rehear the case.
Case number 2563144, Commissioner Alvarez.
The decision should be modified. The claimant filed a valid claim regarding the job separation. The claimant was forced to miss work because she had to rush her mother to ICU. Her mother's serious medical issue caused the claimant to miss additional work, and the employer did not offer any leave to the claimant. Therefore, the claimant was forced to quit. However, her leaving was urgent, necessary, and compelling. As such, the claimant should be qualified for benefits and the employer's account protected from charge. Modify the AT valid claim, no voluntary leaving, no chargeback, urgent, necessary, and compelling.
The appeal tribunal decision should be modified. While I empathize with the claimant's situation, her reasons for quitting her job while work was still available were personal reasons without work-connected good cause. We should therefore modify the AT decision, voluntary leaving, no chargeback, sever the validity of claim issue.
Modify the AT, voluntary leaving, no chargeback, sever validity of claim.
Short form dissent.
Yes, sir, Commissioner Alvarez.
Case number 2563366, Commissioner Alvarez.
The decision is not supportable. The claimant ceased going into the office after March 18, 2020, because she did not have childcare due to the pandemic. However, the claimant was not separated from work at the time because the employer kept calling her to perform tasks, and the claimant continued working from home. The employer admitted that the claimant continued to perform work in April at his request, but that she wasn't paid after March 20th, 2020. When the claimant realized she wasn't going to be paid, she filed her claim for benefits on April 15, 2020. Since the claimant wasn't being paid for the work she was performing, and the employer did not intend to pay her, she had good cause connected with the work to quit. Reverse the AT, no voluntary leaving, chargeback. Employer is a party of interest and set aside adequate response.
The appeal tribunal decision should be modified. I agree that the employer should be named as a party of interest. As to the job separation, the employer stated that the claimant did not want to quit, but did not have any child care. Since this is a personal reason, the claimant quit without good cause connected with the work. We should therefore modify the AT decision, voluntary leaving, no chargeback. Have UIO and CS correct the employer to be a party of interest and sever the adequate response.
Reverse the AT, no voluntary leaving, chargeback, void adequate response. Employer is a party of interest.
Short form.
Yes, sir, Commissioner Demerson.
Thank you.
Case number 2568300, Commissioner Alvarez.
The AT decision on the separation issue should be reversed. The claimant became ill and stopped working for the employer when she began experiencing symptoms consistent with COVID-19. The employer instructed her to stay home until she could take a COVID-19 test. After she stopped working due to her illness, she filed her claim for UI benefits and took a COVID-19 test later when she was able to do so. The claimant was separated due to a medically verified illness and should not be disqualified. Modify the AT, no voluntary leaving, no chargeback due to MVI.
We should modify the appeal tribunal decision. I agree that the claimant initiated the job separation. However, because the claimant stopped working due to exhibiting symptoms of COVID-19 and she was seeking testing at the time she quit, the claimant should be qualified for benefits and the employer's account should remain protected from charge based on the COVID disaster. We should therefore modify the AT decision, no voluntary leaving, no chargeback, separation caused by disaster. Avoid the adequate response issue. In addition, based on the claimant's testimony that she did not return to work for several months due to childcare issues, we should send a memo to UIO and CS to investigate whether the claimant was available for work. Finally, based on documentary evidence indicating that the employer asked the claimant to return to work multiple times, UIO and CS should also investigate whether the claimant refused offers of suitable work.
I concur with Commissioner Demerson.
Very well. Thank you very much. We have a unanimous decision, and I'll send the memos you requested, Commissioner Dimerson.
Thank you.
Case number 2582125, Commissioner Alvarez.
The claimant filed an appeal to the appeal tribunal decision 2 days late. In her appeal, the claimant states she was unable to reach the commission by phone or online. It is not clear if the claimant is referencing an inability to contact TWC in regards to her original appeal or her appeal to the commission. Since the claimant has made an allegation of inability to reach the agency, this case should be reheard for timeliness testimony.
We should dismiss the claimant's appeal. The claimant's appeal to the commission was filed days after the deadline. The claimant alleged neither non-receipt nor delayed receipt of the AT decision. In addition, appeal period was not within the window of time that TWC was experiencing technical issues or outages. The appeal instructions included several methods for appealing, so if the claimant was experiencing some troubles using the online method, she could have faxed or mailed her appeal. Because the claimant is not alleging any recognized exceptions to timeliness, and there is no good cause exception to the timeliness rules, her appeal is late and we have no jurisdiction to consider the underlying merits. Dismiss the claimant's appeal as late and leave the underlying AT decision in full force and effect.
Rehear.
Thank you. We will schedule a timeliness rehearing.
Case number 2590522, Commissioner Demerson.
The appeal tribunal decision should be reversed. The entirety of the employer's appeal period took place during the time that TWC was experiencing technical issues with processing claims. In addition, the employer stated that in the month of March alone, the employer received more claims than in the entirety of the year of 2019. Moreover, the employer stated that it has made significant efforts to increase its timeliness responses by hiring additional staff, extending shifts, and working on an automated process. For the foregoing reasons, we should reverse the appeal tribunal decision, timely employer protest, resubmit for merits testimony.
The decision should be affirmed. The employer's representative testified that they timely received the notice and were aware of the protest deadline. Nonetheless, they filed a late protest, and the employer has not alleged a timeliness exception. Therefore, the employer's protest should be dismissed as late. Affirm the AT late employer appeal protest.
Affirm the AT untimely employer protest.
Form?
Yes, sir, Commissioner Dimerson, I have your short form to send.
Thank you.
Case number 2590663, Commissioner Alvarez.
The decision is not supportable. The claimant was not subscribed to the electronic correspondence when the May 11, 2020 determination was issued. As seen in the hearing packet, the printed determinations appeared to display an appeal deadline of May 28, 2020. Since the claimant would have received the printed documents, she would have received determinations with apparent appeal deadlines of May 28, 2020. As such, the claimant's May 28, 2020 appeal was timely to the two determinations: reverse the AT timely claimant appeal and remand.
We should affirm the appeal tribunal decision. Because the claimant's appeal is late, we do not have jurisdiction to consider the underlying merits. Accordingly, we should affirm the AT decision. The claimant filed a late appeal, disqualification March 29, 2020 through April 11, 2020, overpayment of $967.
Reverse the AT timely claimant appeal remand.
Okay, we're short form dissent.
Yes, sir, Commissioner Dimerson.
Thank you.
Case number 2616740, Commissioner Alvarez.
The decision is not supportable. The available evidence shows the claimant did not work a full-time shift on the date she filed her initial claim. The employer testified the claimant worked 8 hours on June 22nd and June 23rd of 2020, but only 7 hours on June 24th, 2020, the day the claimant filed her initial claim. As such, the claim should not be invalidated for working a full shift on the day she filed her initial claim. There is insufficient evidence to otherwise invalidate this claim. In light of the limited record and the fact that both parties originally stated that the claimant last worked June 23rd, 2020, I could agree to a rehearing to further develop the record. Reverse the AT valid claim, resubmit for merits.
This is an unusual case with some complex issues. It appears true that the claimant filed her initial claim 1 day early, just past midnight between 2 evening shifts, the second of which occurred on June 24, 2020. She worked 1 hour less than a full-time shift on that date, and so the AT's conclusion that she was not employed on the date she filed her initial claim due to working a full-time shift is supportable. That conclusion is consistent with an old precedent case from 1959, appeal number 6893 CA 59 in the appeals policy and precedent manual section MS 60.15. However, section 201.091 C2 defines a partially unemployed individual as someone whose lower weekly income due to a partial work week falls below 125% of their weekly amount. During the first benefit week of the claimant's initial claim, she worked 23 hours at a pay rate of $15 per hour, resulting in earnings of $345, which is below the 125% of her weekly benefit amount of $375. The precedent seems moot in a sense, since if the claim is invalid under the precedent because she filed a day early, she would have to be given the opportunity to apply for backdating of her claim, which, if the claim were backdated to the following day, the date of the claim would still be June 21st, 2020. As there may be a conflict between the 1959 precedent case and the definition of partial unemployment, it would be best to have this case resubmitted with an analysis of that issue by the Office of General Counsel.
Reverse the AT valid claim, resubmit.
Short form.
All right. Mr. Chairman, did you want to support the OGC analysis requested by Commissioner Dimerson or not?
No.
Thank you. We will not send that memo.
Case number 2626950, Commissioner Alvarez.
The decision is not supportable. The claimant was informed by her doctor that it would be best for her not to return to work. The claimant was told to return to work when she got better. No evidence has been presented refuting the claimant's testimony. The claimant has some underlying health conditions. As the record is limited, I could agree to a rehear. Reverse the AT, no voluntary leaving, MVI, void chargeback.
We should affirm the appeal tribunal decision. The claimant did not provide medical documentation establishing that she was advised to quit. In addition, there is no indication that the claimant communicated her concerns to the employer prior to her quitting. Furthermore, the claimant did not allege that the employer was not following the recommended health and safety guidelines. Under these circumstances, the claimant quit under disqualifying circumstances. We should affirm the AT decision, voluntary leaving, void chargeback.
Affirm the AT, voluntary leaving, void chargeback.
Ms. Miller, short form dissent.
Yes, sir, Commissioner Alvarez. And that is the last case pulled for additional discussion on docket 47. You should have the UI short form dissent list already.
Move we accept staff recommendations on the remaining UI cases on docket.
Chairman, I second the motion except for those cases on which I'm dissenting as reflected on the UI short form dissent list for docket 47.
I concur with the chairman's motion, except for the cases on which I'm dissenting, as reflected in the UI short form dissent list for docket 47.
The motion passes with the exceptions noted.
Thank you all. I wish you all a happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Same to you.
Thank
you,
you.
Ms. Miller.
Thank you.
All right, that's the end of agenda items 3 through 7. Let's pause for a moment to reset for the rest of the meeting. Randy Townsend.
Yes, morning.
You found your tie.
I did.
I can't find mine.
Lost them.
I put them up. I don't remember where I put them.
Good plan.
I'm gonna make a New Year's resolution to start wearing a tie again.
2021. Jeez.
Don't forget to wear your bow ties. Don't forget to wear your bow ties, Chairman.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been on this, I'm on Zoom and I don't need a tie, which I don't necessarily think is appropriate decision on my part, but that's the decision I made. I'll bring the bow ties back. That's a great.
Yeah, do that.
That's
Do
great.
that.
Oh, yeah.
I like the way they look.
Thank you so much. Okay, are you guys ready to tackle the rest?
Yes, Chairman.
All
Do it
right.
too.
All right, agenda item 8 would be next, but staff has nothing to present on this item. Agenda item 9 is Chapter 303 Skill Development Fund Effectiveness Report. And I do believe we have a report on this one.
Yes, I'm here. Good morning, Chairman Daniels, Commissioners, and Mr. Townsend. For the record, Christina Ramos, Workforce Development Division. This morning, I am here to present for your consideration the Skills Effectiveness Study due to the legislature on December 1. During the last legislative session, House Bill 700 required that a study be conducted on the Skills Development Fund for the purpose of developing recommendations for increasing the effectiveness of the fund. The report you have before you today is a summary of the analysis that was undertaken to respond to this request. The 3 objectives identified: strategies for better achieving the fund's purposes, improving outcomes, and expanding participation in the opportunities available through the fund, served as the guidelines utilized in developing the report, analyzing program data, surveying key stakeholders, and developing recommendations increasing the effectiveness of the fund. With your approval, we request to move forward with the publication of this report for submission to the legislature on December 1. Are there any questions at this time?
Questions or comments?
Chairman, I'd just like to say that I want to take this opportunity to thank Ms. Ramos and her team. Great report, very informative, very well laid out, and very easy to understand. So thank you, Ms. Ramos.
And I too like to thank Christina and the team, and actually employers continue to, and stakeholders alike, continue to support this program. And you'll probably see that support coming forward in this next legislative session based on initial discussions. Thank you for the report.
Thank you.
You know, this report does as good a job as I've seen of our ability to paint a picture of a very functional program in the skills development program that helps folks even beyond the workers that it's designed to enhance their skills. It certainly helps employers. I think we set out to do that. And I think we really see the impacts that we can have on local economies and the work that we do with the community colleges and our local workforce, frankly. In working through these projects, how much strength that gives us from an economic development standpoint. And this particular report and the opportunity we had to file this report resulting from House Bill 700 on some recommendations that we can make to improve the program. The thing I wanted to point out about this report is staff took a critical look at this, understood not what I would consider deficiencies with the program, but rather than rest on the laurels of what's a good program, really found some recommendations for improvement for the future. I think they're good goals. I think they're achievable goals in time, and really applaud all of the staff, Christina, you and Jen Troke and others who worked on this. I appreciate the deep look you took into the program and trying to understand ways where we continue to improve. That continuous improvement will be what takes TWC to the next level in terms of being able to continue to enhance the workforce for the state and really create opportunities for the state to continue to create those jobs. So thank you for taking the time, and I know it must have been a lot of time necessary to do that kind of deep dive, understand where the program's good and understand where we can take good to great. I think oftentimes we don't take the time to do that, and I'm so glad that we did here. So thank you for that very much.
Thank you.
We do need to pass this out, gentlemen. Is there a motion to move this report along?
Yes, Chairman, I move that we approve the Skills Development Effectiveness Study as discussed.
And I second that motion.
Been moved and seconded, and I also agree with that, and so we're unanimous on this one. Thank you. On agenda item 10, this is our COVID-19 report. Mr. Townsend, is there anything on this one?
No, sir, not this morning.
And I'm advised that there's nothing on agenda item 11. I'm advised that there's nothing on agenda item 12. Randy, are you going to tackle an executive director's report today?
I will just say this. Good morning, Chairman, Commissioners. Randy Townsend, Deputy Executive Director, covering for Turner this morning. There is no reporter update, but I did want to just wish everyone a safe Thanksgiving holiday.
Well, I'll echo that comment. I hope everybody enjoys a safe Thanksgiving. Interesting times we live in, and so I know each family is making decisions, but whatever we can muster to get a little bit of family time and a little bit of rest and relaxation, I hope we're all able to do that.
Yes, sir.
Is there any other order of business to come before the commission?
Chairman, I, like you and Randy, want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. And just for the record, Randy, you look good on Zoom.
Thank you.
Also, a happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Remember to exercise first, then you can eat, and then you exercise a little bit later, and then you can come back for dessert. So, but enjoy the time off.
Somehow I feel like your form of exercise is different from mine. I'll take that under advisement, Commissioner.
And I don't know why he was looking at you and I, Chairman. He was looking
straight at us.
specifically at us.
Straight at us. He blanked out every other screen, blanked all the screens out except for ours. I don't understand.
No good deed.
He does this every time. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Chairman, I move that we adjourn.
And I second that motion, gentlemen.
Been moved and seconded to adjourn, and we are adjourned. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
You guys be careful.
All right, are we staying on this channel for the work session, or do we come back on a different channel? Can someone help me with that?
Yes, sir. You will stay on this channel.
All right, we're going to take about a 2-minute break so I can get organized, and then we'll come right back. Is that all right with everybody? Perfect.
Yes,
Thanks.
sir. Thank you.
Okay, are we ready?
Yes.
All right, the work session is called to order. Before us, discussion, consideration, and possible action regarding the 2020 Texas Workforce Commission annual report to the governor and legislature pursuant to Texas Labor Code Section 301.065. Let me open just by saying thank you to staff for the work they put into the document and our efforts, going forward to get this refined and published. I think we definitely want to do this before the end of the year, if not sooner. And so, depending on what happens today in the work session, it may be on a little bit of a fast track to get any final edits done and get it moving. But I think we have a good starting point based on what the staff has done. I think we've got an opportunity to do that. I think this work session will be fairly important for us to just tackle this issue as a single issue item and really understand what we need to see for that. I have a couple of edits that I'm going to introduce. I'll introduce it as total section edits. It's just a rewrite of a couple of sections. In fact, why don't I ask staff to distribute that information now so that my fellow commissioners can take a look at that. There.
We got him, Chairman.
Okay, excellent. So what I've done is I've done a rewrite to the message from the commissioners. It is very brief. I intended for it to be. I just want to set up the rest of the report. That is certainly open for discussion. That's my opinion, and you'll see my thoughts there. And then I made some edits also to the staff's COVID section. I emphasized, I think, some different things than staff did in terms of our ability to serve Texans during this time and some things that we learned along the way. It's just the facts are the same. I think the presentation is a little bit different. And then I've introduced a third component, which we did not discuss in our outline that we talked about back in late October. This report is, we do a lot of stuff, as reflected by this report. And I think the thing that didn't get captured in the program by program description, which I do think is important, is the way those are interlinked and the way they work together to develop and deliver programs to Texans. And so the third component of my edits would be it's essentially would serve as an executive summary, and it highlights some specific items. I'm quite sure I probably didn't get all the items that needed to be highlighted in there. And so, I think that's definitely open for discussion. It's just a new element. And so I needed to bring that to your attention, that I think that between the COVID section and the rest of the report, I just think we need something that helps tie it all together. Those are the things that I've proposed for consideration. And then certainly I definitely want to hear from you on where we might stand with things you'd like to see and how you want to proceed.
I'll defer to Commissioner Demerson first.
Yeah. as you're right to do so.
I want to hear what you have to say, buddy.
So basically, Chairman, the commissioner's message that we received at the draft, this is taking the place of the commissioner's message that we had received in the prior packages.
That would be my intent. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then CW Road, do this real quick. My quick read on this, I looked at the items that were added. I'm fine with this. There was a section in there on page 6 of the draft where it talks about maybe the last sentence down there. with the guidebook. And so I'll go ahead and read this. You guys on page 6, the first paragraph there. And I'll start at email address employerinfo@twc.state.tx to assist employers with questions about employment law. And I want to point this out and add in issues at the word the, formerly Texas Business Today publication, as well as it's the especially for Texas employers guidebook. We've renamed the Texas Guidebook for Employers, and it's as well as the especially for Texas employers guidebook. Other than that, I'm fine with this message. I think you mentioned on the surface seem to be things that will bring even more attention to what the agency is doing and really highlight some of the efforts that we have out there. So those are my comments. You got it.
Chairman, so as you know, at the beginning of each session or upon request, legislators or people from the outside always want to know what services that we provide. And so, as you know, we've been working diligently on the changes that I wanted to make. And I see your eyes open up wide, so don't let this scare you. But I will tell you that the report that you've handed out is perfect. Love it. The changes that you've made the additions, you've shortened out the message. This is certainly something that's user-friendly to our colleagues across the street. So I wanted to commend you and your staff for putting this together. In the short time that I've reviewed this, I like it. Everything that we had as far as additions or anything that we had comments to, you certainly have put it in your revision. So we appreciate that. I want to thank again your staff for putting this together. On the specific area on page 8, if I could just put maybe our 1-800 number, maybe our email address to UI claimants that may have some questions. It's very simple. The other thing is I was wondering on page that Commissioner Demerson referenced where we talk about the various grant opportunities that we have, Chairman. I've noticed that in all the reports that we have, and I spoke to Mary York about this yesterday, we do not indicate self-sufficiency. So I understand that that's a different program, but it's still a grant process and it's part of our blended services. So I was wondering if it was okay that in that section where we talk about TIP and some of the other programs that we have, if it's an opportunity for us to include self-sufficiency as well.
I believe that would be appropriate.
But other than that, like I said, your changes and what you've done here by shortening it certainly is, by what I've seen, we like it. And we can make any other changes. Like I said, I would just like to put our labor information on my section, what my website is, laborinfo@TWC again, our 1-800 number, and possibly even include a Twitter since we seem to be getting a lot of correspondence that way. If that's okay with you, those are very minor changes.
They are very minor changes and they're very okay with me.
And Mr. Chairman, I may have just got some from staff or whatever on page 6 again, where it says Commission Representative for hosts Texas Business Conferences. We may have renamed that, so it may be Texas Conference for Employers or something along those lines. So a word switch along that line.
Okay, commissioners, I think we're in agreement here, and even in more than just philosophy, I think we're all agreeing on the words. All the changes that you are recommending, I fully support. What we could do is just push a final consideration of this to the next available commission meeting, which is Tuesday. And that way you would have time to make a double check and make sure that all the email addresses are correct and that the correct names of your individual office programs are there. We need to get self-sufficiency added in there as an edit. I think that's a great edit. If that works and that doesn't pose any kind of impediment, that might be best for us to just be double sure that everything's correct and it's the way we would want to see it.
I'm fine with that, Chairman. Good report. Thank you and your staff for putting it together.
Thank you. Commissioner Demerson, I'm sorry, I missed what you were saying.
No, I was agreeing. I appreciate, agreeing with that.
All right. So barring any disagreement from my fellow commissioners, I think our instructions to staff are compile these edits and bring it forward for a final vote at the next available commission meeting.
Thank you, Chairman.
All right. Is there anything else that, with regard to this, that we need to consider? All right. Gentlemen, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure working with you guys. Lots of great ideas and lots of things going on, and I'm very proud of my crew for working on this. They've been working on it for a couple of weeks now, trying to get all these things on paper so that that folks that are familiar with TWC can read those and understand what we're doing and understand the direction we're headed. And you know, as you said earlier, I think both of you, you know, us telling that story becomes increasingly critical. And I'm really honored to be able to work with a group of folks, both in my office, the staff that we've assembled here, and with you guys in your offices to get this done. This is a benchmark report for us, and one that I think we can be very proud of. All right.
Thank you, Chairman.
We have our moving forward. I still wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving one more time, because I don't think we can do that enough. We have a lot to be thankful for.
I as well, and we look forward to seeing you in your bow tie in January.
Great. All right. So we probably do need a motion to adjourn.
Chairman, I move that we adjourn. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
I second that motion. All right.
And I third it. I vote for that too. We're adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Guys, be safe and careful. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Randy, nice seeing you.
Good seeing you.